Hi, welcome to our CWTC Get Connected community podcast, where we share experiences, promote services and highlight opportunities available for residents of Oldham. Lees Park Eco Hub is a project managed by Athena Environmental. Today we are joined by Alan Price, who is an agricultural and sustainability specialist and who has been working at the project since it began in 2018. Lees Park Eco Hub grows fruits, vegetables and herbs with wildlife in mind. Let's meet Alan Price to find out more. Alan, welcome to the studio.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me along.
How are you and how is the weather, by?
The weather is excellent.
Is it suited for the environment?
It is. It is. It's nice and warm. It's exactly as it should be this
Lovely.
time of year. So it's nice.
Wonderful.
And the good thing about the sunshine is people feel better in themselves.
Great. That puts a smile on people's face.
Exactly.
Tell us about your role and your great work at the Lees Park.
Right. I'm one of the directors of Athena Environmental. We set up in 2010. In 2018, a parks manager, brilliant man called Hughie Madden, said, Alan, I know you're on the Environment Forum since the turn of the century. You wanted a sustainability centre. Yes. I think I've got a piece of land you may be interested in. And we went along and he said, well, this is it. It was a disused bowling green that was getting vandalised and a building that was getting wrecked and such. He said, do you think we can do anything with it? I said, yeah, I think we can. Roll forward until the present day, we've got 4 polytunnels, 3 large growing beds. Excellent. We have a pond and 5 raised beds so that anyone who was in a wheelchair, for example, can also participate.
It's accessible. Yeah. Wonderful. So it shows all the love for the horticultural that you have. And what made you interested to get into this?
Well, I've been into, if you like, wildlife and horticulture from a very early age. Yeah. My father was a master baker. Okay. We had our own business, and back in those days, in the early 60s and such like, you'd have the bakehouse, and behind the bakehouse would be the plant growing area.
This is in Oldham, is it?
No, this was over in Formby in Liverpool.
Okay.
As you can tell from the
Liverpool
accent.
Lad, yeah.
You never lose a good accent. We've been here since the early 80s. But anyway, so as a little boy, me and my brother, we would be in the allotment area collecting the vegetables. On another area would be all the fruit. So we'd be taking that into the bakehouse, washing it and such from a very early age.
Yes.
So
you're a good picker.
A good picker, good washer. One little story is with strawberries, my dad always said, right, when you're doing these strawberries, washing them and preparing them and such like, he said, you've got to whistle. Because if you whistle, they're so much better.
Wow.
It wasn't until I was in my late teens I said, you know this story about the strawberries, is that right? He said, no, I'm working in the bakehouse, and when the whistling stops, I know to come in because you're eating the strawberries and not washing them.
Well, I can see half of the Oldham singing, whistling away. Brilliant. So go on, grow wild is the term. What does it mean? Right,
grow wild is all about growing your food naturally, without any artificial pesticides or herbicides. It's growing with nature rather than against it.
Yes.
An example of that would be at Lees Park we have a pond.
Okay.
Right? Now within that, so there's a natural wildlife resource for the frogs and the newts.
Great.
They don't stay in the pond, they leave the pond and they will come on the growing beds, eating all the pest beetles and snails and such that's what they should be doing. But yes, it works. So you're working with nature rather than fighting it.
It's about embracing the nature's way, isn't it?
It is. It's called natural agriculture throughout the world. And it's all about saying, we can grow food relatively easy, letting the wildlife be, if you like, our partners, rather than trying to exclude them,
Yeah.
bring them in.
Well, let the plants flourish.
Exactly.
Beautiful. So what is climate resilience,
Right.
and how can communities help?
Right. Climate resilience is, we hear about climate change and such like, and what we look at is, and what we experiment with, are ways to say, right, well, we've got climate change as individuals, as
Yeah.
you know, there's things that we can do ourselves: recycle, cutting down
Reduce
our
waste.
energy, reducing the waste, reusing containers,
Yeah.
etc. And so climate resilience is saying, right, okay, we know the climate's changing, so how can we adapt to that, for growing our produce, such like, and looking after the wildlife, because it's very easy. Small actions.
Yeah.
You growing
Goes
your
far away.
veg mightn't seem very much. Putting a pond into your garden mightn't seem very much. But
And
if
it's
we
not-
all do it,
Yeah.
if the communities within Oldham come together and come together to the likes of our hubs or in their own homes, they can grow things. It's
Well, it's
very
protecting
easy.
natural spaces.
It is. It's not only protecting it; it's enhancing
Yes, of
natural
course.
spaces.
Beautified
You know,
with nature.
Exactly. It's amazing. You can put bird boxes up, and you only need one bird box. We have one where the blue tits come regular as anything in Lees Park, in our hub, and we've gone onto the trees outside in the park area itself. We've put bird boxes.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a housing shortage for birds in Oldham, so they are soon, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating to watch natural history.
And I think it's a great thing that you're doing, and people need to be made aware of co-friendly practices as well.
Oh yes,
Eco-friendly.
eco-friendly is right. One of the things we show at Lees Park is there's no magic. It's not a mystery. Anyone can grow their own veg. And just like the strawberries, they taste so much sweeter and nicer if you've grown them yourself.
Yeah.
And although there's a science behind it, it's easy to follow. And it's very easy. If you don't have a garden and you've got a backyard, you can do it in your backyard. If you haven't got even a backyard, you've got a windowsill.
Be creative.
Exactly.
Be creative.
And have confidence. Don't think, I can't do that, because there's only two things in life that you can't
Alan,
do.
it's an achievement as well.
It is.
You're making things grow.
Yes.
And watch it grow.
Oh,
it's like a baby, isn't it?
Yes, it gives you so much pleasure watching things grow, and then at the final thing, the eating that meal that you've prepared and you've made it. And you've used the veg that you've grown. It's so much nicer.
Natural
and
goodness.
if you've in natural goodness, and you know what, that is the key.
Yeah.
Natural.
Lovely, lovely. Any upcoming projects by your organisation?
Yeah, we did a lot of projects last year. We've now got a community kitchen, and once again we build these things up and people will say, oh, you've not finished the infrastructure. No, what we do is we don't throw anything away. There was a school in Fitton Hill that we're removing their old kitchen, so from a classroom, so we took it, we've adapted it, we've now got a community kitchen. The brilliant thing about that is we're not only able to show people how to grow the food, we're able to show them what to do with it. It's plant-based, so it's nutritious, it's not pre-processed stuff or whatever.
That's my next question. So in terms of a piece of advice.
So projects, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, so for future...
Let's finish the projects,
Yeah, we've got several up and coming. We've done a lot in the community last year with Wellbeing, etc., drumming sessions.
Okay.
So all about caring for yourself as well. Our future projects that we've got going at the moment, we've got a fantastic Wild Wednesdays group.
Okay.
Now these are a group of volunteers who come together. Should be to carry out a project. Sometimes it's just to have a nice gab and make sure everyone's all right and such like.
Nice.
And then they help prepare our food, and we have lunch together
Excellent.
before the end of the day.
Great social networking.
It is. It's not only social net. It's getting people out and giving them the confidence.
Yeah,
You know, it's all right to fail, and if you're with a group, you can say, "Well, that's fine. We've all done it." You know, brilliant.
Share your stories. Yeah.
Discovering Youth is a project. So we hear about a lot of young people without lacking confidence and such like. So we give them a safe space. At the moment, there's a project going on with Madlow involved. And
So it's a bit of intergenerational stuff.
oh, absolutely.
Going on.
Yeah, it's got to be,
Yes.
because the youth are our future.
Of course.
But what we've got to do, people like myself who have recently retired several years ago,
You don't
is
look it.
oh, thank you, smooth talker, is to pass on that knowledge to the youth.
Yeah.
And give them the confidence, give them the tools to be able
Correct.
to succeed.
Yes.
And just what a lot of young people don't hear
Yeah.
very often is, "Hey, well done. You've done a good job there." You
Proud
know,
of them, you know.
exactly,
Of
to be proud, and for them to be proud of themselves, to give themselves that confidence to do it. So we've got that. We've got a Baby Grow Wild sessions that are coming up shortly.
Okay.
And that stems out from the pandemic. We noticed that a lot of single mothers or young mothers, should I say, with young babies and such like, some of those babies had never met other babies and such like. So we ran a project for 0 to 3-year-olds, which was very successful.
And they can grow up to be friends.
And not only that, they can go and they can water the plants and get as messy as the ones. And there's nothing to stop the adults getting messy either.
Lovely.
And so we've got one of those coming up again for 0 to 3-year-olds. So it's all about getting the parents and the children together. Same thing as growing, passing ideas on and such like. We've got tiny forests from the Woodland Trust. They've donated us 143 trees.
Wow.
And so we're going to come out into the community. So any groups in your community who've got the space and think, "Oh, I'd like some trees there," get in touch.
Excellent idea.
Because once again, tiny woods all makes a difference. It makes a difference for wildlife, it makes a difference for climate change, and it makes people happy.
And it's very therapeutic as well.
It's very therapeutic. The other thing is, if we do it as a family and you get youngsters, as the trees grow, so do the youngsters. And there's nothing better. We've done that in Lees Park. And we still get children bringing their parents and their grandparents along to see how their fruit bush is growing, etc.
And you know, when you're talking about growing trees, especially, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, then there has to be a council involvement in this, whether you can do it or not.
Not always. It depends who owns the land.
Okay.
But you will find that for such projects like that, if we're doing it as a community project, we will do it in community centres, so they are responsible for the land. Right. We're doing one come spring in a band club up in Saddleworth, etc. So it's whoever the landowner is. You need permission of the landowner, to plant trees.
Any more projects?
Oldham Council are very proactive. They really are. It's a great council. So the other things we do with climate resilience is we experiment. So we're driving forward our hydroponics projects, and that is where we don't even use soil to grow our veg. We grow it in water with water containers. And it's been proven that it saves over 80% of the water used. We also experimenting with our own feeds, so everything is natural in there. So one of the other things we're doing is with our foods, we're showing people the value of natural plants and what you can do with them. So lots going on at the hub.
Fantastic. I'm absolutely very surprised. So much is happening here. And it's great for our knowledge, and hopefully through this episode people will connect with you
I hope so.
Become more environmental friendly.
Yes. Can I just say, there's growing hubs all around Oldham.
Okay.
So if you don't want to come to Leeds, just look out or contact us and look at. There will be a session close to where you live.
So the tips for the aspiring growers, what are the tips you would recommend?
Try.
Okay.
If there's one rule, is have a go. And that's the same with anything in life.
Yeah.
Don't worry about failure. You will get your failures. Last year up at Lees Park, it was a terrible year for growing veg and such like. But don't give up.
So it's all about really learning from the trial.
Yes,
and
having
error,
a go.
yeah.
Buy a pack of seeds, read the back of it. It will give you the instructions. Find any container you want.
Yeah.
Put your seeds in and see what happens. Don't forget to water them, but don't overwater and don't underwater. We'll teach you all about that if you want to come to a growing session.
If you had the world's attention for 2 minutes, what would you say?
If I had, what I'd say is remember the pandemic and how we all came together.
Yes.
Not only within a nation, but globally.
Reconnect.
We reconnected and we looked after each other wherever possible.
That's nice.
And I would love it that we could continue that. If I had all the power in the world, I'd abolish greed and envy.
Wow.
We've got enough money and resources in the world to look after everyone. There should be no hunger in the world, and there should be really. We've now come with the technology, because I'm in my 60s. I can remember when technology was first coming in, and we used to say, this is brilliant. We'll all work part-time and we'll have money for everything. We can look after everyone.
Everyone can contribute.
And life can be so much happier.
Working together.
Working together, that's the important part. Look after each other. A simple life is often a happy life.
Absolutely. How can people connect with your great work?
Right. Well, social media is the best thing. We have a Facebook page. We're on Twitter. We have an email, which is leesparkecohub@outlook.com.
And what we'll do as well in our video, we'll put your email on.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you the phone number because if we give you the phone, you can imagine hands all messy and trying to get hold of them. I've lost so many phones and dropped them. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But yes, just if you feel it, get in touch.
Lovely.
Of a Wednesday, volunteers and such like, get in touch and come along. Keep your eyes open on social media because we always advertise our events that are coming up.
Excellent.
So,
is there anything that we have missed that you want to say?
I think we've done most of it now. We've covered it. Look after wildlife.
Yes.
Let things grow wild, but more important, develop the confidence to have a go.
Wonderful.
Having a go is the most important thing.
Yes. I'm sure we'll have you back here now and then to report on any further achievements.
Certainly, or on anything. I'm very lucky. I've had a long career. First half as an engineer, second half as a countryside manager. I was the natural history curator for the borough and such like. Whole wealth of information on energy and such like.
Absolutely.
One of the things I'm working on my own personal project rather, is looking at energy and by the future with climate resilience.
Super.
And if I was to give it in just one short sentence, is good water management.
Right.
Now I'm hoping that keeps you intrigued enough to invite me back
on
another subject.
And some of these good developments that you're doing can be also utilised globally as well, particularly in the third world countries.
One of the things that, yes, very much so, and very much in this country, for example, a little example was during the pandemic, we were growing food. We had permission to grow food, which we would give out to community groups who would give to those isolated.
Yes.
And amongst that, we put together seed packs. And that was a pack of seeds with soil and such like, so people could grow themselves. And we went through tons, literally tons of compost. Now, we looked on the packet of this compost, and whilst it didn't have any peat in it was peat-free, it was mainly coconut grounds and such like. And I thought, well, hang on a minute, we don't grow coconuts in our country, so if one looked at the carbon footprint, it wasn't very environmentally friendly. So Tom and I at the hub said, right, well, what can we do? Let's experiment. And we used pea gravel. And that is just stones, little stones, under half a centimetre. And if you like, we call it pea gravel. We put our seeds in that, and we found that the results were better than compost. Our germination rate was better and such like. And we thought, well, can we spread this message out? And we had other people coming in, farmers have tried it and found it successful as well. So
trying and experimenting.
Exactly. Which meant also, as a community group, one of our major costs, which was the compost and growing media, came down to virtually nothing. So
very inspiring to hear you, Alan.
Thank you.
Excellent. And what do you think of our setup here?
I think it's brilliant. As I said earlier, I used to run growing workshops here.
We're going to get you back in here,
efficiency workshops. This is really good. I've enjoyed coming along, and
Pleasure.
more than anything, thank you for making me feel so at ease and comfortable.
Well, you made me feel easy because I don't know much about environment, but certainly I would like to learn more, and I'm sure from this episode people will learn more and connect with you.
I hope so.
And
thank you so
very
much.
Thank you very much for coming, and hope you've learned a few things from Alan here. Please get involved with the organisation, and also come to our CWTC as well. Great opportunities available for residents of Oldham. Thank you for watching. God bless. Take care.